White House correspondent for the AP, Julie Pace. Hey, Julie, you have a write-up on how Hillary Clinton's struggling to make inroads among young Americans who overwhelmingly supported Bernie Sanders in the primary. Numbers are pretty staggering. 54% of voters who are 18 to 30 have an unfavorable view of Hillary Clinton. In the Jen Ford poll from the University of Chicago and the AP NORC Center for Public Affairs Research, that includes 68% of young white voters, 42% of Hispanic voters, and 38% of Asian American voters. Clinton gets 38% of the youth vote, while 22% prefer somebody else, 17% say Donald Trump, and 16% say they won't vote. You look at those numbers, boy, Julie, it is none of the above, isn't it?
It really is. That was what was most striking to me in this poll, is that you have really dismal numbers for Trump. You have kind of so-so numbers for Clinton, but there is just a lot of frustration with this election and these two major party candidates from young voters. And in calling some of the voters that we polled, you really hear that over and over again. They are frustrated with the system. They do not see their choices as being choices that represent them. And they really feel like there should be a third party option, someone else who could step in and represent the interests of young voters. For a lot of them, they thought that was Bernie Sanders. He obviously isn't going to be in the race anymore. And what we'll have to see is whether his endorsement of Clinton ends up influencing these young voters and moving them over to her side.
Okay, so what is it, Julie, specifically that they don't like about Hillary Clinton? What are they telling you?
One of the big things, and this really won't come as a huge surprise, is they just do not find her honest and trustworthy. They don't believe that she's straightforward. They believe that she is part of the same establishment political system that, as I said, they don't feel represents their interests right now. And so she can take away from this some good news, which is that they just believe that Donald Trump is so outside of the mainstream of their lives that they could never vote for him. But she's really struggling still to give young voters a proactive reason to come out and support her. That's not just about opposing Donald Trump.
Julie, I wonder if you heard any alarm from Democratic leaders. It is so hard to mobilize young voters, and Obama did that in 2008, and it looks like Hillary now risks pushing them out of that coalition.
Absolutely. I mean, you were talking earlier about both Trump and Clinton needing to put together coalitions of voters to put them over the top. And young voters were so crucial to Obama's coalition. He won 66% of young voters in 2008, 60% in 2012. And I remember going out to places like University of Wisconsin, where the Obama campaign would literally be driving around campus in golf carts, getting young people to go early vote, to go sign up to register to vote. It's an enormous effort. But you have to have some buy-in from young people at the start. They need to believe in your candidate. They need to at least believe that your candidate is someone that represents their interests. And so Democrats are worried. If Hillary can't put together at least a coalition that looks somewhat similar to Obama's coalition with young people, she's going to need to try to make up that margin elsewhere.
Al Hunt.
Pace, it's a fascinating poll. As I think you suggest, the key here is whether she can get them to vote. They're not going to vote for Trump. Can Bernie Sanders help? Or if she picked an Elizabeth Warren, do you have any sense of what might help? She's not going to suddenly convince people tomorrow, hey, guess what, I'm honest.
Right, exactly. She's going to have a hard time totally flipping this impression of her. And that's why I think today's event with Bernie Sanders is going to be so interesting. It's not just the idea of him standing next to her. It's what he says about her. How does he vouch for her? What does he say about what young people should do specifically? Does he make a very direct case to them to come out and vote for her? Someone like Elizabeth Warren potentially could play that role going forward. But these young people need a reason to actually come out and support her. And right now, Hillary Clinton alone isn't giving them that reason.
All right, Julie Pace, thanks so much.